It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Thursday, July 24th, with your hosts, me, Ray, and Ventnor, and, Zach, that good-looking dude, making Washington great again. Mr. Zach, how are you today?
Doing fantastic, Pops. Happy Thursday, July 24th to everyone. Happy birthday to my good buddy, Logan.
It's his birthday. Yes, I was going to say, today is Logan's birthday.
It is Logan's birthday. We are going to thank our sponsor, Chapter, in about, 8 minutes or so. So please check out the link in the description down below. Yep, get that read ready, Pops. And a friendly reminder, folks, CarEdge.com. We are coming up on year 6 of helping literally hundreds of thousands of people buy a car without the headache. Check it out back at CarEdge.com. And Pops,
yes,
we've got over 300 people using our AI negotiator right now. What a crazy thing to have an AI negotiator. For those of you that are unfamiliar, you can have a CarEdge alias, which is AI. So your contact information is not going to the dealership. Instead, it is an alias that we create for you, a phone number and an email address that will then work to get out the door price quotes and negotiate with dealers on your behalf so that you don't have to be doing it. I've got a bunch of deals here in my account currently active. So anyway, you can get to that from going to the car search, go to caredge.com/shop, and then literally all you need to do once it loads is click negotiate this for me. So check that out, folks. It's in experimentation mode. And yes, Phil, we love it too. Phil's talking to dozens of users all week long. Dad.
Yes.
Enough promo. Let's talk about the big news story this morning. Hyundai warns of bigger hit from U.S. tariffs after Q2 profits fall. The other kind of damning news for Hyundai right now, Dad, is when we look at the days supply of new vehicle inventory, they have 113 days supply of inventory. They have a significant oversupply of inventory in the new car market. And we're going to look at some more data on that front in just a moment. But Hyundai reporting their earnings, Dad, making a bunch of money. Don't get me wrong. They made a bunch of money. Their profits plunged significantly. However, they're saying that July through September is going to be really damning for their business.
They lost what was it, $600 and some million to eating tariffs in the first quarter, and they expect the third quarter to be worse, dollars and cents wise, when it comes to the cost of tariffs. All while they expect sales to slow down as well. So it's kind of sort of like the double whammy, ladies and gentlemen. You have inventory going up, you have profits going down, and you're trying to absorb the added costs of tariffs that have been imposed, all while hoping that the Korean government can work out a trade deal with the United States by, say, next Thursday.
And Dad, I find it fascinating. Hyundai came out and said, hey, we're not going to change our profit guidelines for this year. That being said, we did have this unexpected $606 million cost that we incurred in the second quarter. And to your point, they think it's going to be larger between July and September. They're relying on, obviously, South Korean government officials to negotiate a trade deal. But they are struggling not only with the tariff component, which I think we've heard from our community a lot, Dad, them saying, hey, these automakers are going to say like the tariffs are the issue, when in reality they have other issues. And I saw a comment already here in the chat from Bobby saying Hyundai decided to go upscale, so this is what they get. Take tariffs out of the equation and you look back at this day's supply of inventory, and Hyundai just has an oversupply. Hyundai has a glut of inventory in the United States. This chart, folks, for those of you that are unfamiliar, tells you how many days it would take each of these brands to sell all their available new car inventory based on current sales rates. So it's a great measurement for who's got an oversupply and an undersupply of inventory. Toyota has a 39 days supply. That means they have the least negotiability, the most, the dealers can be most aggressive. Like, they just don't have a ton of motivation to sell cars because they're already flying off the shelves. Audi, on the other hand, has a 133 days supply. The industry average is 82. Well, Hyundai's slotting right in there, Dad, at 113. So take tariffs out of the equation for a second. Hyundai just has, to Bobby's point, they decided to go up market, and this is what they're getting.
Okay, so they decided to go up market. And I don't know if they decided to go up market as much as they just decided to raise their MSRPs. And they did that. at a higher rate than just about anybody other than the Stellantis organization, in comparison to inflation.
Yeah,
I believe
36% over the past 5 years.
yes. So and I don't, I'm pretty sure they're doing their best not to sell themselves as an upmarket brand. They're probably, my guess is, a mass market value brand that has a touch of upmarket um, um,
Product?
equipment
Yeah,
that
product.
is standard. Um, but their sales, they keep setting records every month. So as bad as it may be, um, with the amount of inventory they have, every month they continue to sell more cars than the same month the year before.
For sure, but their inventory glut is more severe now than it has been before. And to your point, the double whammy, they're also incurring all these costs from tariffs. And that's not to mention that just last month, or excuse me, 2 months ago, at the end of May, Hyundai came out with this headline: Hyundai weighs across the board U.S. price hikes to blunt tariffs. So we could be seeing a triple whammy to a degree over at Hyundai soon. So I hear you. They're still primarily a mass market brand, and we're going to do a
Yes.
little bit of live experimentation on the CarEdge machine in a moment here, but I do think they are in a precarious position to a degree, sounding the alarm bell, saying, hey, if the South Korean government can't get a deal struck here, things could turn south quickly for us.
Well, that goes for every manufacturer, whether it be manufacturers that are part of the European Union, or whether it be manufacturers that are in Japan or Korea. With the advent of tariffs, it all depends on if and when and what kind of deals get struck. And as I said yesterday, with anything that comes out of Washington D.C.,
Yeah, it's in the
the
details.
devil is in the details,
For
and
sure.
I don't think anybody knows what the hell the details are for many of these things. But you would suspect that with any type of continuation of tariffs, it is going to have a negative impact on all the manufacturers. And there was an interesting article today in regards to the costs of steel, copper, and aluminum going up due to tariffs. And what has happened is that the American manufacturers of these products have raised their prices because they know the imported products are more expensive.
Sure.
So this impacts everybody, and realistically, it appears to me, only going to get worse.
Yeah,
But I do know a way for people to save money.
Go for it, Pops. Go ahead and read our sponsorship read from our friends over at Chapter.
Well, I don't really read it. All I will tell you is that if you are of a certain age where you are on Medicare and you need to look for Medicare supplemental insurance, well, then I would suggest you get in touch with our dear friends at Chapter. I did, and Chapter asked me a few questions, took about 30 minutes. And at the end of it all, I ended up saving $91 a month on my supplement insurance premium. So I encourage you to call Chapter at 557-207-0445 or visit them online at askchapter.org/CarEdge and have them help you save money, because with the cost of everything going up, you might as well figure out a way to save a few bucks where you can, and Chapter can help you do that.
Quick question for you, Pops. When you talked to them, was it high pressure sales tactics, like the stuff we train people for the car dealership, or was it kind of chill?
No. He couldn't have worked in a car dealership to save his life. He was too kind, too friendly, too helpful.
557-207-0445. Check it out. Thank you, Chapter, for your continued sponsorship of this program. Dad, let's do a live experiment here.
Yes.
You know me. If we're talking about Hyundai, and we're talking about them sounding an alarm bell to a degree. And this is the combination of the fact that they had over $600 million in expense tied to tariffs warning that that number is going to be larger between July and September. And the extra benefit here for our alarm bell hyperbole is the fact that they have 113 days supply of inventory when the automotive industry has an 82-day supply. I went ahead, Dad, and I went to the CarEdge car search. And one of the things I did, I don't know if people know this, is we can now sort by dealership. Okay, so you come over here on the left,
Really?
and you want to look at inventory at any particular dealership, you just click on dealership. You can search for the dealership name, or it'll pop up ones near you. And obviously here, Dad, I've toggled Earnhardt Hyundai of North Scottsdale. And I want to just look at their new Hyundai inventory. They have 516 of them, which is a hell of a lot of vehicles in inventory. And look at this, Dad. I've sorted by days on market oldest. I wanted to see some of these vehicles that have been sitting around for a long, long time. And Dad, they mean even the Hyundai Tucson, for example, a plug-in hybrid, a Hyundai Tucson, I don't think used to cost $48,000. The Hyundai Santa Fe, a calligraphy version, costing $49,000. These vehicles, 466 days has been sitting there, 343 days that it's been sitting there. So this is just a perfect example. The newly redesigned Hyundai Santa Fe, again, over $50,000. Then you've got some here like the Kona, the Elantra at $30,000 or under $30,000 price points. But this dealership group, and I want a couple members of our community to give me some zip codes so I can go check out other places. I mean, these are vehicles that are sitting for a long time.
And just so I can make our listeners from Arizona feel good, and that ain't no bull, because, well, that's Earnhardt's slogan, by the way. And if I may, I can even tell you when we had our golf store in Arizona, how Earnhardt was a customer of ours, even though I was not a customer of theirs. You're looking at a situation where the Phoenix market is one of the strongest markets in the country for auto sales. And the reason for that is because public transportation in the Phoenix metro area is abysmal at best. And so it is such a large metropolitan area that you have to drive everywhere. And it is truly one of the strongest automotive markets in the country. So it doesn't surprise me that they have 500 and some cars in stock. Some of the largest dealerships in the United States, sales volume wise, reside in the Phoenix metro market. But what does surprise me is the cost of these vehicles being as high as they are. At one time, Hyundai was considered an inexpensive mass market brand to compete at a lower price point than your Asian competitors such as Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Mazda. But they have, in many cases, priced their vehicles equivalent to or just slightly below what their competitors are doing. And that, to me, is the most surprising thing as to how they have been able to so quickly build a mass market brand and raise prices at the same time. Yeah. Shocks the hell out of me. And the other thing that shocks the hell out of me is that they've had engine issues and quality issues over that time that they've been doing this, and it doesn't seem to have slowed them down.
Yeah, absolutely, Dad. Let's look at this, Pops. We had in the chat come in. It was somewhere here. It was a zip code near Glen Burnie, Maryland. Okay, an area that we used to live near.
Yes.
Near Glen Burnie, Maryland. And here we go, Dad. Bell Hyundai. That's the dealership there. They've got 243 new Hyundais. Look at this. I mean, this Tucson now, 2024 Tucson has 524 miles on it, but 480 days. 2024 Hyundai Elantra sitting there, 380 days. The MSRPs, though, so far, nothing too outrageous. No. A 25 Hyundai Tucson, 344 days. A Santa Fe, 341 days, etc. But yeah, here we go. The $50,000 redesigned calligraphy Santa Fe at over $50,000. But even these cheaper ones, Pop, sitting for almost a year at Bell Hyundai. Again, a great resource you can use back on the CarEdge website is just the dealership filter right here. You can play around with that. We got another zip code that came in, Pops. Let's see here. Where'd it go?
And if I may, I can tell you, having driven past the local Hyundai store near me, their lot was packed, just packed with cars.
93230. Let's check this out.
I was going to say that's got to be somewhere in California.
Yeah, it sounds like California. Let's get rid of that. Distance nearest. Let's find the dealership. Drum roll, please. Hanford Hyundai. All right, so let's go to dealership. Hanford Hyundai is what we want to be looking at here. Okay, they got 138 of them. Let's sort by oldest. I mean, yeah, 396 days on a $47,000 Ioniq 6, 336 days. It doesn't matter which dealership we go to, Dad. They all have some of these vehicles that have just been sitting. This one actually has much more of the more expensive ones.
Yeah. Well, you're in California where everything's more expensive.
But a lot of these over $50,000 Palisades. Remember when Palisades were selling with market adjustments?
Yes, I do. And now I'm pretty sure you can get a sizable discount on them.
Yeah,
And I believe that's one of the things that's also contributing to Hyundai's dilemma a little bit is the size of their what's the term I'm looking for? Rebates and incentives are probably much higher than some of the other brands out there. So not only are they in the position of eating a big cost of the tariffs, but they're continuing to utilize incentives, marketing incentives to help sell their vehicles, whether it be cheap interest rates or cash on the hood or cash in the trunk. They are continuing to do both.
Let's take a quick peek. Let's do it. So I clicked into one of these. Again, Hyundai's got expensive, folks. $52,974 MSRP. Dealer invoice price $50,590. The target dealer discount anywhere from $2,000 to $3,300. What I want to do here, Dad, is I'm going to scroll all the way down. First things first, 101 days supply. So that's above industry average.
Yes.
This vehicle's been sitting for 283 days. We can see the price history graph of how they've been advertising this. So back on June 3rd, they advertised it at a really low price, trying to get customers in. But what I want to come to, also I can see what other previous CarEdge customers have gotten. Saving, look at this, $3,000 dealer discount from a CarEdge concierge customer, $3,700, $3,700. Man, this data is so good. What I want to come down to, though, is what you said, incentives. $250 cash incentive, 0% financing for 36 months. The lease incentive is at 6.14% effective APR, the money factor of 0.00256. So actually, none of these are that exciting. Maybe 0% for 36 months, but still 36-month financing on a $52,000, $53,000 car. That's an expensive monthly payment.
Out of the range of, I would think, most Hyundai buyers. Hell, let me rephrase.
Out of range for most buyers.
Thank you. Yeah, I just it didn't have to be Hyundai. It was just most buyers.
Yeah, we're talking about a $1,500+ a month payment if you do it for 36 months. Also, just want to take a second. Our car search is so good. Wow, the data on here. I could get the window sticker. I could view a buyer's guide. This is really impressive stuff. I haven't been using the car search enough. All this data, cost of ownership, likelihood of a major repair, Dad. I mean, this is good. Safety ratings, recalls. Come on, man.
You need to go visit the website more often. And what's funny is you visit it every day on the show.
This is good. I'm impressed. This is really good.
Yeah, the team. I saw a comment yesterday. It says, you've been building CarEdge for 6 years, but you've only been called CarEdge for 2. Well, CarEdge was around longer than that, and we acquired them. And one of the reasons we acquired them was because they were such a data-driven organization, and the information that they had regarding repairs, depreciation, things of that nature, and I never really raised my voice with my son, but I remember saying to him when we acquired the company, you really need to utilize this data. This is important. So this is the type of information people need in order to be able to make an informed, intelligent decision. And thankfully, we have designed the car search in such a way that when you click on a particular vehicle, it will provide you all that information as part of what we offer. And
Yeah.
it that information is invaluable. It
Yeah.
really is, because if you look at that chart that says when you can start to expect a major repair, well, guess what? If you're signing up for a 7-year note, what's the possibility in year 7? It's starting to go up.
Yeah. 14%.
Okay. And if you're buying it as a used vehicle and you're financing it for 6 or 7 years, and it's a 3-year-old used vehicle, well, in year 9 or 10 or 11, look at that. So while you're paying off that vehicle, you can also anticipate having a rather large bill come due for a mechanical repair that it's going to need.
Yeah. Really good info. Dad, let's take a second to thank Michael. Appreciate the kind contribution, Michael, and the
Thank you,
compliment.
Michael.
Both Chefskas
Yes.
looking dapper today. We are. We're both looking great. I'm
Yes.
enjoying being 30 years old, trying to dress a little nicer at work, but we'll see how long that lasts. But thank you, Michael. We appreciate the kind contribution. So anyway, there's 20 minutes of Hyundai talk, folks. That's the
Yes.
state of the Hyundai market. Let's switch gears here for a moment, Pops. Let's talk about Chevrolet. This was an interesting article in Automotive News. Chevy dealership sues General Motors over proposed new point nearby. Automaker says dealers have squandered opportunities. So, Dad, you never worked for an automaker. You've only ever worked for car dealerships. You
Yes.
represented and
Yes.
sold the products of automakers. Why would we have a Chevy dealership suing General Motors? What is going on here? And why, as consumers, as customers, should we care about any of this?
Well, manufacturers have a certain KPIs. Okay.
Key performance indicators.
Yes, I was getting it. Key performance indicators. And one of them is the amount of sales in your market. What they anticipate should be your amount of sales. And dealerships are awarded in areas based on underperformance in many cases. Most dealerships would like to have, I don't know, a 5, 10, 15, 20-mile radius between them and the same brand competitor. And so in this particular situation, I didn't read the article, but my supposition is that the existing dealer, at least in General Motors' mind, is not selling the requisite number of cars that General Motors was expecting this Chevrolet dealership to sell. And so that they're losing sales to competitive brands, not another Chevrolet dealership, but competitive brands. And well, General Motors doesn't want to lose market share. So their solution to the problem for an underperforming store is to create another location for the same type of brand that might be closer to that dealership than they would like, so that they can get back the lost sales.
Pops doesn't even read the articles, folks, but you know what? They might as well quote him. According to the complaint, GM notified Mirac Chevrolet in February 2025 that it intended to add another point, aka dealership, 5.6 miles away. Okay, the reason they said they were going to do this is because market share dropped to 5% from 6% since 2016 for Chevrolet in the Boston market. However, nationwide, they grew to 10% from 9%. So you are spot on, Dad. Chevrolet losing market share in Boston, gaining market share nationwide, then going to their dealer partner and saying, we're going to put a competing dealership 5 miles away from you. That is wild. I mean, we come on this show all the time and we try and really hold accountable the bad dealers while also educating consumers so they can be empowered and informed as they navigate the car buying process. This is a dog-eat-dog world, man. 5 miles away, they're putting another Chevrolet dealership. I mean,
well,
wow.
If you are the manufacturer and your market share has gone up nationally from 9% to 10%, and the market share locally at this dealership has gone from 6% to 5%, well, already at when it was at 6%, they were an underperforming store
Yeah,
for what Chevrolet was doing on a national
nationwide.
basis.
Yeah,
Yeah. So as that market share continued to go down, somebody at Chevrolet has to say, we are losing potential customers because this dealership is underperforming so severely. And yeah, it's a dog eat dog world, but you are expected to sell X number of cars in your marketing area, in your primary marketing area. And if they can't do it, if that particular dealership has been unable to do it for the last 9 years, yeah, you bet your sweet ass that Chevrolet is going to come in with another point saying, you guys, please pick up the slack. And that's what happens.
pretty remarkable how aggressive that relationship can be between the automaker and the dealership, and now obviously going to litigation, potential litigation lawsuit.
Well, and you would think, just based on the little bit that we saw in the article, that General Motors has the data to back up and support why it is that they're doing what they're doing. And you know, I've mentioned to you many times that it's not necessarily a partnership between the manufacturer and the dealer.
Sure.
The manufacturer would like to suggest it is, but it isn't, because there's certain performance levels you're expected to hit, and your manufacturer, dealer representative, sales manager that comes in and talks to the stores, I mean, they review this with you every month. They sit down and they go, why are you losing market share? What are you doing to earn that market share back? Why are your customers going elsewhere?
Yeah.
This is not, I can guarantee you that the factory rep was having this conversation every month that he was showing up at this dealership with the dealership's GM.
Yeah.
They want to see a minimum level of performance. And they sit down with you and go, what are you doing about your age units? I just ran your inventory. You have this and that.
Yep.
That's aged. What are we doing to move those? Why are we losing more? I mean, they go over all that. So this should have never come as a surprise to the dealership that at a certain point, Chevrolet was going to go, you've got competition, baby.
Pops, let's turn our attention elsewhere. Also not much of a surprise, Acura ending production of the TLX. I mean, it is sunsetting of sedans. Sedans are going by the wayside. Acura making the decision to end production of another sedan, the TLX. Were you surprised to see this?
I was. Yes. I was surprised and I was saddened, because when I first started with Acura back in 1999, we had the 3.2 TL, and they redesigned it for 2000, and they brought it out and they lowered the price significantly, like $4,000 or $5,000, and they increased the amount of standard equipment significantly. Yep. And sales took off, and when Acura started, the big seller for them initially was the Integra and the Legend. So they had always produced sedans that were popular. I mean, they produced some that weren't, but the Legend was extremely popular. The TL was extremely popular. Obviously, it morphed into the TLX. Yep. But I never suspected that TLX sales would become so minimal that it made more sense for them to just cancel the sedan altogether. And they're not just, I mean, they're ending production next week. Yeah. Okay. Next Thursday is their last day to produce them. And I got to tell you, I've driven them. We've owned them. I've had them as demos when I managed Acura dealerships. It was a great car, just at least at one time. I'm assuming it's still a great car today, but apparently nobody wants a sedan anymore.
And then you read the comments on our latest video on the main channel, the CarEdge channel, going through 10 discontinued vehicles, and people are saying, I wish there were more sedans. So it's confounding.
Yeah, people say they want them, but they don't buy them.
Yeah, that's
and so that becomes a dilemma for the manufacturer. Yeah, well, everybody says they want one, but they won't put their ass behind that steering wheel, and so that becomes a real issue, and it's sad to see that go because it was a hell of a car. It really was.
Yeah, let's come back here to the chat from Matthew. Good to see you here, Matthew. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the contribution. Nürburgring, rainy mess, road trip through Black Forest and Vasquez. A success, 5-course 3-wine lunch at a Michelin restaurant in France for 90 euros. The best. Matthew living my life out there. And Pops, don't you worry. He wore his linen to lunch. I want to be like Matthew someday. Just
I want to ask Matthew a question. Because when I go to the deli section at the supermarket, they offer Black Forest ham. Well, damn it, Matthew, you were driving through the Black Forest in Germany. Did you stop anywhere to pick up or eat any of that Black Forest ham? And how good is it in Germany? But yeah, congratulations to him for being able to do the things that he does.
Pops, I also want to pull up here from Pat B. How are dealers responding to the AI negotiators? Folks, we have launched since last Wednesday when we went live with this, over 2,500 instances of the AI negotiator. Okay. Here's an example of a deal that we've been able to do and a real success. They're not all going to look like this. And you got to contact multiple dealers, but this was pretty damn cool, Pops. This was a dealership that originally listed, this was a Honda Accord. Okay. For $35,090 online. The AI negotiator got the out the door price at $38,180, and the final negotiated out the door price was $36,900. Here's the overview of what happened. So requested the full OTD, confirmed the vehicle, confirmed that there were no dealer add-ons, calculated and got the full out the door price, offered a firm counter offer of $36,900. Dealer agreed to meet at the $36,900. And I can view the full history right here, which is fantastic. So I can go through every single message and see what my AI negotiator did for me all the way to here. Our current out the door is $38,316. I just spoke with my sales manager. He says if there is any way we can lock in the deal today, he'll gladly do it at $36,900 out the door. Again, folks, this was all AI negotiator, CarEdge alias. Customer didn't actually communicate with the dealership and saved, obviously, in this case, a significant amount of money, not to mention the time. So pretty damn cool. They don't all work like this. There are some dealers that don't reply. We're working on making the phone call system even stronger as well. And then in your history log here, you'll be able to see what phone calls your AI agent has made for you. I mean, it's crazy, man. And even as we've been on the show today, the team updated our homepage to try and get even more people using this, because we're just trying to get people using it and then talking to our team about what worked, what didn't work. I'm really proud to say we're up to over 300 people that are using this right now, and over 2,500 instances of that agent out in the wild. So this is a crazy experience. And please, to be clear, guys, we still offer, and they're not going anywhere. We have incredible car buying services from our concierge team, and it's 30% off right now. So please, 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 please take advantage of that, as well as CarEdge Insights. You know, our team's not going anywhere. I am a huge proponent that human beings, really specialized human beings, are going to be involved in this for the long haul. Okay, so please don't think we're going all AI, all everywhere. It is a damn good resource, though, for those of you that don't want to deal with having to contact a dealership and don't necessarily need as much hand-holding through the process. That's obviously where our concierge team.
You know what will be interesting?
Yeah.
Is when an AI Ray and AI Zach show up and do this show live.
No. No. Also, Dad, I just got an email earlier today. Hopefully this comes to fruition. A journalist from the Wall Street Journal interested in writing about what we're doing with artificial intelligence. So fingers crossed that actually comes to fruition. That would be really cool. That'd be a huge moment for our company, a huge moment for me personally, and a testament to what our team has been able to do. So yeah, we got some cool stuff cooking on that front, and it's all thanks to people using it, telling us what's good, what's bad, and then the incredible team we have behind the scenes. Like seriously, Phil leading the charge on making sure the usability is there. Frank making sure that folks can get into the experience. The whole dev team, JP's been working his butt off. Aiden and Andrew, Jeremy, Ganesh. Like, there's a litany of folks. Dimitro designing the whole experience. Dan keeping the train on the track. So like, we're spending a lot of money behind the scenes, guys, on trying to make sure that buying a car can be better in the future. Yeah.
Are you saying that there's more to CarEdge than just you and I showing up and doing this show every day and on the main channel with videos?
I feel humbled beyond belief, Dad, for what we've been able to build over these past few years. And we've got a great group of people that are supporting it. So including our community here. So anyway, that's the show. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate everyone.
There's one more thing. Matthew got back to us.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Pork schnitzel. That sounds
yes.
tasty. Appreciate you, Matthew.
That was, yeah. He didn't have the Black Forest ham, ladies and gentlemen, but we do know that he had the pork schnitzel, and yes, it was amazing. It is so good to hear from Matthew.
Living vicariously through our community. All right, folks, we're back tomorrow. More CarEdge Live. Tune in then. We appreciate you all so much. Pops, enjoy the afternoon. I love you.
I love you too, handsome. Have a great day, and thank you everybody for being here. We'll see you tomorrow.